Under the bandage of his hand that had been bitten, Maguire could feel the smell. The zinging sensations persisted. He began to forget himself. Sounds around him spun. He was in a boat on his back, a canoe in the jungle. He heard the crack of a parrot or a frog. He heard the professor moving around outside of him. He was cold, traveling down a river, passive, gazing up at foliage, when suddenly the vision would break down entirely, and he would find himself self-conscious, bumping into a dream he'd had the night before but forgotten. He wonders, is it possible that he really had this dream? And yet surely, for it has substance. It occurs to him that there must exist a real space in his brain, physical compartments, rooms as in a house where certain things are kept, like the dreams that one thinks they've forgotten, where instead the dreams remain behind a closed door in one's head. He knocks on the wall between himself and last night's dream, playful, but this too is lost. He sees his brain like a dollhouse, a set with one side peeled back, his larger consciousness looking in, watching himself rap on the side of one wall at what he'd dreamed on the other side. There is a coyote inside of his brain. No, a man in a coyote skin. No, a piece of a man in a coyote skin in a motel room inside of his brain, hiding and then forgotten. He feels the shadow of a great war and whimpers. I burned my draft card. He experiences himself thinking in a present self drawn from the sensation of a cumulative past in which the I is persistent, continuous. His present self exists with an imagined self projected into and through the future. He is torn up again. He cannot follow a single thought. His body twitches with the uncomfortable spurs of electricity, goading, riding his body. He feels like he is falling down a tube. His body twitches involuntarily, something goosing his insides into a glass of the ocean. Suddenly consumed with the sensation of his body, he coughs, phlegm and spittle. He spits, coughs up the ocean, spits shelled clams. He hears himself and the sound is ugly. He imagines himself eating a freshly dead stag. He tastes blood. He feels himself being eaten by wolves. It's hard to breathe. I am dying, he thinks. This must mean that I am dying. He sees himself in a desert, walking beneath the sun, skin scorched, spluttering and mad with dehydration, pain, trapped in a plane in the middle of a war. Jerk, 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 jerk. Jerk, 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 jerk. He cannot remember having been born or what it will be to die, but he remembers, they say, put as many seeds as possible into the grave so the body doesn't come back.